The Saljuk story begins not in marble palaces but on the windswept steppes of Central Asia. These nomadic Oghuz Turks, hardened by a life on horseback, were about to trade their yurts for empires. Driven by drought and ambition, they migrated south, embracing Islam along the way. This newfound faith wouldn't pacify them, it would fuel their conquests. By the 11th century, under the leadership of Tughril Beg, they had carved out a dominion stretching from Persia to Iraq. The Saljuk Sultanate was born, a testament to the power of nomadic might and the allure of a new world to conquer. These weren't simply raiders, they were empire builders. The Saljuks established a centralized administration, minting coins, collecting taxes, and patronizing the arts. They understood that true power required more than just military strength. It needed the mortar of legitimacy and the scaffolding of bureaucracy. Theirs was a story of assimilation and adaptation, of taking the best of Persian governance and blending it with their own Turkish traditions. This hybrid vigor would become a hallmark of their rule. Enter Alp Arslan, whose very name Lion of Valor speaks volumes about the man who would lead the Saljuks to their most stunning triumph. Ascending to the Sultanate in 1063, Alp Arslan inherited a powerful, if somewhat unwieldy, empire. To the west lay the Byzantine Empire, the shrunken but still formidable remnant of Roman glory. For decades, the Byzantines had held the line against the rising tide of Islamic expansion. Alp Arslan, however, saw not an obstacle but an opportunity, a chance to shatter the old order and forge a new one with Saljuk steel. Alp Arslan was more than just a warrior. He was a shrewd strategist and a cunning politician. He understood the power of symbolism, choosing to fight not for land or loot, but for faith. He declared a jihad against the Byzantines, rallying his Turkish warriors and attracting volunteers from across the Islamic world. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a battle that would determine the fate of the Middle East for centuries to come. The year is 1071, the place Manzikert, a dusty plain in what is today Turkey. The Byzantine army, under the aging Emperor Romanos IV, vastly outnumbered the Saljuk forces. On paper, the Byzantines should have won, easily. But battles, as the saying goes, are not fought on paper. Alp Arslan, a master of psychological warfare, used a feigned retreat to lure the Byzantines into a carefully planned trap. The ensuing battle was a massacre. The Byzantine army, its ranks shattered and its morale broken, was routed. Even Emperor Romanos himself was captured, a humiliation unseen since the fall of Rome centuries earlier. Manzikert wasn't just a battle, it was a seismic event that cracked the foundations of the Byzantine Empire. With their army in ruins, the Byzantines were powerless to stop the influx of Turkish settlers into Anatolia, the empire's breadbasket and recruiting ground. Within a generation, what was once a Byzantine heartland would be transformed into the heartland of a new Turkish power, the Saljuk Sultanate of Rum. Manzikert opened the gates to the east, forever changing the religious and cultural landscape of Asia Minor. Victory at Manzikert should have ushered in a golden age for the Saljuks. Yet, even as they carved out their vast empire, a new threat emerged, not from without, but from within the Islamic world itself. The Fatimid Caliphate, centered in Egypt, represented a rival branch of Islam, Shia, to the Saljuks Sunni. What began as theological disputes escalated into open warfare. The Saljuks, champions of Sunni orthodoxy, saw the Fatimids as heretics who threatened the unity of the Islamic world. The Fatimids, meanwhile, saw the Saljuks as upstart barbarians encroaching on their hard-won territories. The Saljuk-Fatimid conflict was a tragedy for Islam, a war of brother against brother that sapped the strength of both empires. It was a struggle for control of the holy cities of Mecca and Medina, a battle for the soul of the Islamic world. The conflict raged for decades, marked by periods of intense warfare interspersed with uneasy truces. It would be a slow, debilitating drain on Saljuk resources, diverting their attention from further expansion and ultimately contributing to their decline. The Saljuk Empire, vast and powerful as it was not without its internal fault lines. The very nomadic traditions that had propelled their rise also contained the seeds of their decline. Succession was a perennial problem, with rival claimants to the throne often plunging the empire into civil war. Powerful governors, granted autonomy in their distant provinces, began to act more like independent rulers, paying lip service to the Sultan but hoarding their taxes and fielding their own armies. The once centralized administration began to creak under the weight of its own size and complexity. Corruption flourished, eroding the loyalty of the populace. The Saljuks, masters of conquest, proved less adept at the art of governing a vast and diverse empire. By the 12th century, the once mighty Saljuk Sultanate had fractured into a patchwork of squabbling successor states, each vying for dominance but none able to command the power of their forebearers. Section 6. Enduring Legacy, Mosques, Madrasas, and Mathematics. While the Saljuk Sultanate may have been short-lived in the grand scheme of history, its impact on Islamic civilization was profound and enduring. Saljuk sultans, eager to legitimize their rule and leave their mark on history, became generous patrons of the arts, sciences, and architecture. Magnificent mosques, adorned with intricate tile work and soaring minarets, rose in cities across the empire, testaments to both Saljuk piety and the skill of their Persian craftsmen. Madrasas, or religious schools, flourished under Saljuk patronage, becoming centers of Islamic learning and scholarship that attracted students from as far away as Spain and North Africa. The Saljuks also played a crucial role in the transmission of knowledge from the east to the west. Scholars working under Saljuk patronage translated countless Greek, Persian, and Indian texts into Arabic, preserving ancient wisdom and making it accessible to a wider audience. It was during the Saljuk era that groundbreaking works on mathematics, astronomy, and medicine were produced, laying the foundation for the scientific revolution that would later sweep through Europe. Section 7. The Mongol Storm. A world order shattered. As the 13th century dawned, a new and terrifying power emerged from the steppes of Central Asia, the Mongols. Led by the ruthless and ambitious Genghis Khan, these nomadic warriors swept across Eurasia like a whirlwind, leaving a trail of destruction and conquest in their wake. The fragmented Saljuk Sultanates, weakened by internal strife and political instability, proved to be easy prey for the Mongol war machine. One by one, they fell, their cities sacked, their armies crushed, their populations scattered. The Mongol conquests marked a turning point in world history, shattering old empires and redrawing the political map of Eurasia. The Saljuks, once masters of a vast empire, were reduced to vassals of the great Khan, their power broken, their glory a distant memory. The Mongol invasions had a devastating impact on the Middle East, disrupting trade routes, destroying irrigation systems, and decimating entire populations. Yet, from the ashes of destruction, new possibilities would arise. Section 8. Echoes of Empire. The Saljuk Legacy. Though the Saljuk Sultanate itself was swept away by the Mongol tide, its legacy lived on in the institutions, traditions, and cultural innovations it left behind. The Saljuk period saw the rise of Persian as a literary language of power and prestige, influencing the development of Persian literature for centuries to come. The synthesis of Persian and Turkish artistic traditions that flourished under the Saljuks laid the groundwork for the development of distinct Ottoman and Mughal art and architecture. Perhaps most importantly, the Saljuks helped to shape the religious landscape of the Middle East, solidifying Sunni Islam as the dominant faith in the region. The Saljuk Empire may be a forgotten chapter in the history books for many, but its impact on the course of Islamic and world history is undeniable. They were a bridge between East and West, a conduit for knowledge and cultural exchange. Their rise and fall serve as a reminder of the cyclical nature of empires, the enduring power of ideas, and the indelible mark that even seemingly transient powers can leave on the tapestry of history. Section 9. Conclusion. A bridge between eras. The Saljuk Sultanate, from its nomadic origins to its imperial zenith, represents a pivotal chapter in the history of the Middle East. They were agents of change, their conquest paving the way for the Turkification of Anatolia and the rise of new Islamic empires. They were patrons of the arts and sciences, their courts buzzing with intellectual and artistic ferment. Their story is a reminder that history is not a linear progression, but a complex tapestry woven from the threads of conquest, cultural exchange, and the enduring human desire for power and meaning. While the Saljuk Empire itself may have been swept away by the tides of time, its legacy lives on, a testament to the enduring power of ideas and the indelible mark that even seemingly transient powers can leave on the world.